Welcome to the show, Jesus. It is good to have you here.
Thank you. It is good to be here this evening.
So, after 2,000 years, we get to finally have a conversation with you, Jesus. What have you been up to?
Walking around, watching people, talking to people, just chilling out and doing my thing. I have a lot of land and a lot of people to cover. I've been lightening my skin a bit so maybe I could get a gig on Fox News. Ha ha, just kidding. Sorry about that.
And by your thing, what do you mean?
Well, a long time ago I tried to get the people of this world to just love one another.
And how did you go about doing that?
Well, first of all we tried the law, but people just seem to find a way around that.
Yes, well, they still seem to be doing that today, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And when the law didn't work, then what did you try?
Well, then we tried sending some prophets to remind them what the intent of the law was, how they were to treat each other with fairness and reason.
Well, I'm not so sure that worked out so well.
No, it makes for good reading today, but by and large, it was like trying to reason with a 2-year-old.
I guess I don't understand. How do you mean?
Well, it is like humanity as God's child. As a child, humanity in general seems to go through different stages of development.
You mean so at the time of prophets, we were like 2-year-olds?
Perhaps a bit older than that, but not much.
Well, what then?
Well, after thinking about it for a couple of 100 years, with things getting more and more off track, I thought I would enter into that mess. Try the vulnerable thing.
Are you, talking about Christmas?
Yeah. That babe in Bethlehem that most of you celebrate around this time of year. The days getting longer in the north. Shorter in the south. But at least a time of change.
Well, that was when you were born, isn't it? I mean, isn't that right?
Well, the actual timing of such things is less important than the meaning people can take from their timing of celebration.
So, when exactly is your birthday anyway?
Well, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. I guess you could say that question doesn't even matter. More important is what people see and feel.
Well, after all, it does rather stimulate the economy.
Yes, the ones who think they run things do like to make a buck out of my attempts to get us to recognize one another as brothers and sisters in the family of God.
You sound just a bit bitter about that.
Well, if some hack hijacked your anniversary, your special time to express your undying love and devotion toward that someone special, all for a buck, I don't suppose you would take it lightly.
No, I suppose not.
And neither do I. Which reminds me, I do love me some Pope these days. This guy actually seems to have read that book.
Yes, he is causing a bit of a stir now, isn't he?
Yes, he is reminding people that I am not about holiness or piety or what words or what language or what kind of music you use. Christmas is all about me coming into the world to be vulnerable and perhaps, just perhaps, get you to be vulnerable with one another. In the process, perhaps you could even learn to love one another.
Well, I certainly think we have a ways to go on that one.
No duh.
So, what do you think we should do about Christmas?
Look into the hearts of one another and tear down systems that separate. Look into the hearts of one another and see your brother or sister in the family of God. Look into the hearts of one another and see the presence of God, which means that if you have a whole load of junk under your tree and someone else can't even put food on their table, you've got some serious issues to deal with. You are too full of yourself and there is no room for God.
Well, okay then. Our time is getting short, so Merry Christmas to you, Jesus, or perhaps I should say, Happy Birthday.
And the same to you. May it be a birth of something new in this world, and may you have the joy of being a blessing to someone who could use a hand up more than a handout.
And to our studio audience, a very Merry Christmas to you all.
And a happy holidays to you, and may you have less junk and more heart in the coming year.